speed here. We have Roddy Jones of Georgia Tech and Logan Walls. And we will open it up the question to the Atlanta area media. You have first dibs for questions. Okay, yes, sir.
Roddy, I guess can you talk about the NCAA allegations against Georgia Tech and how that affects your season?
Well, obviously we weren't very excited to hear about the news, but it really doesn't affect our season at all. All of the sanctions that were levied against us, none of them affect our season coming up. So, if anything, we'll use it as motivation. You know, we'll use it as motivation to go out there and get another ACC championship, hopefully. And I think the guys have kind of taken it that way.
Has it been a distraction?
I don't think so. It's been something that everyone outside of the program has talked about a lot more than we have. We hear about it, but again, it really doesn't affect us. And a lot of guys on the team either didn't really play in that game or are too young, not too young to remember it, but weren't at Tech. So there are very few of us who really played in the game and who really know what went into that season. So we've kind of set the example in putting it behind us and really moving forward and focusing on 2011.
Logan, if you'd like to weigh in on that too.
Yeah, I think it shouldn't have too big of an effect on this season. We everybody, I guess the older guys know how much hard work was put in, so it's, you know, it's definitely going to be some motivation, but I don't think it's going to be a big effect.
Yes, sir.
I guess for the both of you, what were your personal feelings when you found out what was going on with NCAA stuff, and you haven't been such a big part of that team?
Well, I think me personally, I was a little surprised. You know, I was as surprised as the next person because we didn't hear a whole lot about it coming up either. So we were a little surprised, but after the initial shock wore off, you know, we realized that it really has nothing to do with what's coming up. What's done is done. It's something that we can't control, and so we just need to focus on what we can control, and that's getting ready for 2011 and trying to make that the best season we can have.
Yeah, and I was just as surprised as the next person. I didn't even know what was going on. I was at work, and my brother called me, and he was like, "What's this big announcement y'all having?" And I was like, "I don't know. I guess I'll let you know when I figure out." So I guess it doesn't. It bothers me, but it's still, you know, I'm just glad that it doesn't affect us in the future.
Sir.
Guys, coming off first losing season at Georgia Tech in 14 years, how much of a bitter taste does that leave in your mouth, and maybe wanting to prove people wrong going into this year?
I'd say it's a very bitter taste. You know, no one wants to be known as the first losing team in 14 years. And that was something we talked about going into the bowl game, and you know, coming off a loss in that game, it made everybody really hungry. It made everybody really appreciate what we did in 2009. And it made us really want to get back to it. So I think we're very humbled by last season, and we'll come into next season with a new sense of hunger and urgency.
Yeah, and I think that we're definitely a lot hungrier, and everybody knows that, you know, it's not just going to be given to us. I think we kind of went into the season expecting that, and I know this year that everybody's super hungry and everybody's going to go hard and not come out slow and slack most games and have to wait till the second half to get crunk up.
Roddy, and the A and B back, is that the deepest part of this team for this season this year, you think?
I think it's the most experienced. You know, we certainly have a lot of guys who played A-back and have game experience. In B-back, we have a lot of guys who are talented, but I think we're just deep at a number of positions, including defensive back, defensive line. We have a lot of guys who play a lot of linebackers, so I think we've got a lot more depth than we have in the past. I think A and B back is just what you hear about more because we have more guys who have played, but we have some very talented guys all over the team.
Jeff.
Roddy and Logan, some people say that having to give back wins or vacate wins is not really much of a punishment. Can you address that from a player's perspective when basically your championship was taken away, or was it?
Well, I feel that it's a huge punishment because we went, you know, winning a game is more than just going out there and playing for, you know, the 60 minutes that it lasts. It's, you know, some people's lifetime of work is what's put into the game. So, you know, people say it's only one game, but it's a lot, you know, it's a lot more than that. It's just the tip of the iceberg is all that you're seeing with that.
I would agree. I think that one thing that we'll still have the memories of the game, and I'll still have my ring. house and get it. So I'll have that to show to my kids. But other than that, it's more embarrassing than anything else. I would say. But as far as the punishment goes, obviously we know what we put into it and we know what we did, and we'll have the memories from it.
Kenny?
Roddy, Logan, question for both of you guys. Obviously, all the teams are here, players are mingling, talking with each other. Have you guys talked at all to the guys from Carolina about maybe what they can expect and all the negative publicity, or is that not really something that players focus on? It's more something the media focuses on. Has that come up at all in conversation?
Not with me.
No, I think the only thing we talked to the Carolina guys about is how hot it was outside and how we could get other towels to wipe off the sweat.
Yeah.
But, no, we haven't talked to them at all.
Yes, ma'am.
When we're talking about vacating wins, I mean, a lot of Tech fans I've talked to, just media in general, they saw that game, they know you guys won. I think that's sort of maybe the point we were getting at earlier. Have the fans still been supportive? I mean, they still think you won that game even if you had to vacate the win?
Yeah, the fans have been very supportive, I think. Because I was upset whenever I first heard about it, and then I just, I was talking to my mom, and she was just, they can't take away your memories, they can't take away the experience. So that's what really helped me get through it. Because I was upset when it first happened, but she really helps me out.
Absolutely, we've had a lot of support from the fans, and they're probably angrier than we are because it's just as much their bragging rights as it is ours. So.
Yes, sir.
Roddy, just talk about being kind of next in line after Dwyer and Allen and kind of taking the reins, and maybe what kind of pressure you feel and maybe what you've learned from those guys.
Well, I don't really feel any pressure. I feel like as long as I can help the team win, that's all I want to do. And whether it's going out there and running the ball or blocking or helping the young guys understand the offense and really take hold of that. I think any way I can help the team win is all I want to do. I just want to help us get back to the championship game.
Logan, what have you seen from Roddy running the football that makes you think that he can shoulder the burden?
I've seen him run hard every time he gets the ball. I've seen him break tackles. I've seen him off the field lead everybody. He's a great all-around player for sure.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, Nesbitt was a big part of you guys' team a couple of years. I mean, what is it like kind of without him this year? I know he went down last year, but what are your prospects this year? Because, that offense, what you guys run is really based off the quarterback. What does the next guy in line kind of bring to the table?
Well, I think going on without Nesbitt, as you could say, it's especially weird for me because I came in with him. We got recruited together. We came in together. So we had a pretty close bond. But, he's not going to be there in 2011. And I think Tevin got a lot of great experience last year. I think he was put in a lot of difficult positions last year, a lot of difficult situations that he had to deal with, and he did a great job. We obviously didn't have a lot of the outcomes that we would have liked, but it wasn't all his fault. A lot of that was on us as well. So we're going to help support him better, and he'll do a great job for us. He brings a different skill set than Nesbitt does, but he's very smart and he understands the offense. He's had 3 years to sit there and watch Nesbitt and what worked and what didn't work and really learn. And I think he's done a great job of that and preparing himself for this opportunity to be the starting quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Logan, year 2 under Al Groh, switched to the 3-4. How much more comfortable will you guys be this year in that defensive scheme?
I think it's 100% more comfortable. I know in the beginning last year people were still confused with, I guess, all the exotic blitzes and stuff that were getting put in. But now everybody knows what they should be doing, and everybody can communicate down from the safeties all the way to the D-line. So that's a huge part of that defense is communication, and now we know how to communicate, and I think that's going to help us a lot.
We have time for about 1 or 2 more questions. Yes, sir.
For both of you guys, who, if people don't know Georgia Tech's roster, who do you think is going to stand out, kind of unknown person, either on offense, defense, or special teams that you're looking for to step forward?
I'm thinking Jeremiah Tachu. He's one of our outside linebackers, number 45. He just has freak ability, and his body can bend in crazy things, and he does it. He can do it, and he can keep going on full speed while he's doing it. So I just like watching him play.
I'd say for the offense, probably Charles Perkins. He's a guy who redshirted last year, who's shown a lot of ability, and he runs hard. He's got breakaway speed, and he's going to be a very, very good player for us. But you know, all of our B-backs are going to do well. Preston Lyons as well, I think, is a guy who's deceptive. You know, he's not the fastest guy, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, but he will always get you positive yardage. And he's sneaky. You know, he finds the holes and he really understands where he needs to be. And I think that's something that definitely is a benefit in our offense.
Anything else? Yes, sir. One more, this last one.
Roddy asked you about replacing Anthony Allen on the field. What about as his personality and he was one of the biggest pranksters on the team. Can you fill that role too?
Oh, no, that might be a little too much. You know, that's a two-man job in itself. I don't think anybody has Ant's personality, but you know, we've got some other pranksters on the team. Tyler Melton's a pretty big prankster, as is Stephen Hill. I think all the receivers. I think to be a receiver on our team, you have to be a prankster.
Yeah.
But as far as the vibe in the locker room, I don't think anybody's going to replace Ant. It's going to be a team effort, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.